housing. This is everything that people need. I mean, we grind for hours and hours every single day just so we have a good place to live. Now, if you're a renter, you're in luck because now you got guys like Zillow saying that a third of all apartments and houses for rent in the US are now offering concessions like free internet, free rents, or free car parking spots, and maybe even like a Starbucks gift card. And we're seeing so much insane competition in this market. For some reason, the United States is one of the only countries in the world where there's a massive frenzy of real estate construction. So if you're buying or if you're trying to rent, you might be in luck, and there's going to be a lot more wiggle room for negotiations. Rental market tracker asking rents flattened in September among a massive growing apartment supply. Now, here's the thing that you guys need to keep in mind. Not every single city in the US is experiencing a massive construction boom. For example, places like the Bay Area, like San Francisco, Oakland, you have one of the lowest construction rates in all the US. But at the same time, rents and also condos are dropping because there's a population outflow. But you go to places like Miami, Orlando, there is a lot of construction, but despite so many people moving in, there's just so many homes that you just can't have increasing rents anymore. So this is what's happening. We're seeing rents flatten nationwide, but certain cities have much lower rents. If you check this out, home builders ramp up construction in July, beating expectations. If you look at this, the annual construction of homes is up 5.9% from July 2022. The incredible construction kind of doesn't make any sense because people say that interest rates are at an all-time high. Interest rates are at a 2-decade high. But you're telling me that construction is up 6% from last year? And what's even crazier is barely anyone's buying these homes because the amount of people submitting mortgage applications is super low as 1995. So it's at like a 2 to 3 decade low, and they're building more homes. Just really doesn't make any sense. And this is leading to the crisis that we see in Oakland, for example. Oakland rents just plunge, right? I've never seen a city's rent plunge almost double digits in a single year. Their rent plunged 7.2% in the past 12 months. This is a massive drop. And it's really unique because, yes, Oakland may not be the best place to live, but it is very close to San Francisco, which is where all of the big tech companies in America are headquartered. Look at these condos, look at these apartments. They're building these things nonstop, and nobody wants them, right? Look at this, $100,000 price cut. Properties next to the bridge are generally worth a lot more, and apartments are much easier to rent. If you see some of the home prices for Oakland near the bridge area, a lot of these are very expensive, and they still are. I mean, you get like this tiny little house and it's like $1 million. It's 2-bed, 2-bath. Way too expensive, and prices will be continued to be cut. So you got places like Oakland where there's just way too much construction. If I show you how many massive apartment buildings are going to be built in Oakland in the next few years, you'll be shocked and you'll say, wow, they build so many, even though interest rates are high and people are leaving. It doesn't make any sense. But in fact, many developers bought these plots of land a few years ago, and many developers broke ground a couple years ago during 0% interest rates, and they just recently finished many of these apartment complexes. Because when you make an apartment complex, to go through the city and then go through construction and then to polish it and finish it up takes a few years, right? It could take as quick as 2 to 3 years to as long as 5 years. So some of these construction plots of land and plans happened like 2 to 3 years ago or 4 to 5 years ago before this crazy construction hype. And now several of these units that borrowed money during 0% interest rates are now finishing up. You're seeing cities where the population never actually went up. In fact, some populations in cities went down. And you have like 2,000 apartments coming in. Of course, rents plunged to all-time low. And check this out. U.S. asking rents remain sluggish even in October. The vacancy rates are increasing. And what's even crazier is if you guys check out the crackdown for Airbnb in New York City, this is also causing decreased rents because several other cities in the US may be coming onto this and they may be banning short-term rentals. And US asking rents, they're pretty much terrible and they're going to continue dropping. We finally hit the double top in terms of rents. Look at this, right? Rents lingered at a high point for a very long time, and now rents are slowly decreasing. If you guys look at the unemployment rate, it's up 3.3 to 3.9, and many of the jobs that are cut are not low paying jobs, but high paying jobs, over 60, 70K a year per person. And many of those jobs are now going to the unemployment section. Many companies are cutting jobs. Banks are cutting jobs. Tech companies are cutting jobs. I mean, they're cutting jobs nonstop at this point. And this is thanks to the Fed's high interest rate situation. And look at this. This is rents now compared to a year ago. You got like the Austin area, the Dallas area, the Orlando area, all dropping 5 to 7%, right? San Francisco drops 5%. Oakland recently reported, like I said, it's like a 7% drop. Some of these numbers are a little bit underreported because Seattle, negative 3.9%. It's way higher than that. But hey, rents are dropping in some of America's finest cities. Even in Miami, it just seems to be like over construction, overbuilding, and it's causing a massive drop in prices. And what's even freakier is the Airbnb bust. Check this stuff out. New York City is known for hotels, right? New York City is famous for short-term rentals at one point because short-term rentals was making these guys so much money. Oh, you have a New York City condo? You have a condo in Manhattan, you say? Well, you're going to be making a lot of money from this. And now you probably notice what's up with the New York City rental market for Airbnb. How come there's no big penthouses? Well, New York City put a huge ban, right, on this short-term rental situation. So people who have Airbnbs and Verbos and Booking.coms, whatever it is, they could only rent it out to a maximum of 2 people, and the host has to live in the unit that they're leasing out. So it's barely profitable anymore. And New York saw a sudden increase for short-term rentals at first, but now it's at an all-time low. And now you're seeing a huge inflow of just units that are trying to sell off. I mean, this is very similar to Victoria in British Columbia, Canada. They recently banned short-term rentals, and now a lot of short-term rentals are on the market. So be also careful, because a lot of these cities, right, are thinking about banning Airbnb. You already have talks in Los Angeles. You have talks in places like Chicago. You got talks in Seattle about banning short-term rentals, banning these Airbnbs, which will cause a massive inflow of even more units. It's a catastrophe right now, right? A lot of developers aren't making money, and now you also have the Biden administration telling people to buy office buildings and convert them to residential. We're seeing a huge change in the United States. Way too many units, way too many rentals. It's flooding the market with so many of these properties, from houses to townhouses to apartments to conversions. It's nonstop, which is finally causing rents to drop. And we could be seeing rents finally coming down from their sky-high prices. This is one of the craziest markets I've ever seen. This is a very difficult market to play, okay? And rents, they're finally coming down. And landlords are offering some of the biggest concessions because vacancies are one of the highest I've ever seen. Not to mention, foreclosures are at an all-time high. Thanks for watching, guys. Comment below, and see you later. Subscribe for more.